R-R-E-N, our Chief Safety and Emergency Management Officer.
Can you tell us, you've announced a plan to try to deal with the homeless. Can you tell us that's really going to work?
So what we're doing is a fairly comprehensive approach. We're working with the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance, OTDA, the New York State office, as well as some of the other state mental health offices, alcoholism and substance abuse, and Department of Health. And the purpose is to try to provide outreach services, enhanced outreach services in our subway stations to try to connect as many people as possible with social services and help that they may need.
Can you tell me this is going to be different than, normal homeless outreach going and trying to get off the street?
Sure. So part of the initial efforts is we're focusing at our terminal stations. Why? Because at our terminal stations, we think we have the greatest opportunity to connect with people because the trains are in the stations longer, and we can get our social service outreach providers to connect with our homeless folks that are in the trains and on the platforms.
You said it's OTD.
You want the city to end up taking over these duties. How come they're not here, and are they aware of what they're going to be doing? Have you been working with DHS?
Sure. So we coordinate our efforts with New York City DHS, the Transit Bureau, the NYPD as well. And what we're trying to do, and to the extent of this is different, is a more coordinated approach so that we can cover as much of our system as possible.
Ronnie, who are these OTDA workers? Are they volunteers? Are they trained professionals? Do they have outreach training?
Well, I should refer that question to Commissioner Hine from OTDA, but they are, in fact, outreach workers, and my observation of them in the system is that they have genuine compassion for what they're trying to accomplish.
Are they paid, though? Do they have training? Are these volunteers?
These are OTD employees.
Ronnie, look, there's a fair amount of skepticism that any plan can get the homeless off the subways, because the homeless often tell you that they prefer to be on the subways because they think it's safer than city shelters. So what do you say to people who are skeptical that this latest plan could actually succeed?
So what the numbers tell us is that it takes multiple efforts of talking and being in contact with an individual who is in the system for a variety of reasons. And what we're hoping is that through these repeated contacts, we will in fact encourage people to accept services and get the help that they need.
Director Hagan, can you describe some of the interactions the media release mentioned that the teams would approach people? How do they know who to talk to? What are they looking for? And what is the goal of each one? Is it the same, or is there a difference?
So I'll share with you my own observations, which is a train pulls into a station, the doors open, the social workers are spread out on the platform, they enter the train, and they attempt to just make contact and offer services. And one of our goals is to try to encourage people to get off the train, come out, talk further, and then ultimately decide to accept the ride to a shelter or service.
And if they don't, they can go back on the train, they can elect to continue whatever was needed.
We encourage people to try to accept services.
Mr. Moore, do you think that more cops on the subways is going to help get the homeless off the trains?
So more officers in the system has a whole bunch of value. One is that not only one of the principal things they're helping protect the social workers that are out there on the platform. So that is one of the big things. Second thing is that they are eyes and ears, and they are the ones that can actually handle a difficult situation, which some of these folks are in trouble, and they're disturbed, and so you want to make sure that we're not putting the social workers at risk nor anybody else around them. So the police provide that
How many extra cops are we being added?
So right now we have a contingent of 50 MTA police officers that are working in the system. We will increase that number probably to about 100 in order to support the program. But as we say in the plan, our intent is to do what we need to do to be able to support the OTDA efforts.
50 MTA cops that deal directly with the homeless problem, but there are more than 50 people.
Absolutely, but 50 are on the platforms in this deployment, working every night to support this service.
Quantify the problem for you. Tell us how bad it is and how bad it has gotten. And is there something that in particular that prompted this new effort?
So the city does a point in time count every January. In April, they released the numbers. What we saw was that the numbers went up fairly significantly in the subway system, from about 1,700 to about 2,200. So that's prompted us to say we have to start thinking differently and take a different approach.
With the shelters already overcrowded, what kind of help can you put together?
There actually still is capacity in the shelters, and what DHS is doing is they're increasing the number of available shelter beds. So again, encourage you to go talk to Commissioner Banks about their plans.
Ronnie, so much of the report that came out today is focused on enforcement. The second recommendation is hiring 500 police, but the way to get homeless people out of the subways is to get them housing. How come there's no push included with this from the state to create affordable housing, or at least more options to keep people in their homes before they get home?
So there actually is a reference to the fact that Governor Cuomo has recently announced a $20 billion investment in affordable housing that will be rolling out.
And as far as hiring the 500 cops, there have been reports that Andy Byford said it'll cost $10 million and it'll come from DA Vance, but the Citizens Budget Commission put out a report that it'll cost $56 million for 500 cops in the first year, $120 million by the 10th year. So how can the MTA afford this right now?
So we are planning to include in our November financial plan the cost for the additional police officers. We will be hiring them over a period of time between now and the spring of next year. And we think that, number one, it's an important investment in the safety and security of our system. That is an investment that is going to be across the enterprise. Long Island Railroad riders, Metro North riders, their employees, New York City Transit, we will all benefit by this increased MTA Police Department.
You're trying to do the same thing in terms of outreach that New York City has tried to do to get the homeless off the streets. They've failed. What makes you think that you're going to succeed, and how optimistic are you that the same things you're trying that has failed in the city will help the subway?
Well, Marcia, I think the best thing to say is that we have to try. We are a group of compassionate people who have got to take this very seriously. I think what Andy Byford says is that our customers and our employees deserve a safe and orderly station environment and a safe and orderly subway system, and we all support that.
Are the officers that are going to be dealing with the homeless, are they going to be working sometimes on their own? Are there always going to be social workers with them? Are they going to be trained to deal with mental health issues?
Our deployment of MTA police is really there to support the outreach workers that OTDA is providing. And we, as Pat Warren said, they're there for the safety of the outreach workers, the safety of the homeless people, the safety of our employees and customers.
Ronnie, there was a push.
I was going to say, we do have other programs out there like fare evasion and whatnot. So you may see police officers not with social workers out there. So there's other work to do besides just the social work part of it.
One more.
There was a push 6 weeks ago to increase the outreach with OTDA and MTA. How many citations were issued during that time? And how many people got out of the subway and into a shelter?
So the numbers since the mid-August time period have been remarkably successful. So since August, mid-August, we've had contact with 9,000 individuals. Obviously, these are repeated contacts with the same people. We have provided 441 individuals who have accepted services. That is a remarkable number. And we have really tried to support the OTDA efforts. And I think maybe the issue is having people whose mission is, on that moment, on that platform, is to try to connect homeless individuals with social services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one off-topic question. We know that the transit union has been running decided to run ads. I wonder what
We're going to stay on topic, Marshall. You got to stay on topic here.
I got to ask.
We got to
try.
We got to stay on topic. On topic.
The union ads are, and that their charges that the MTA is protecting.
We'll get you a statement, Marshall. We'll get you a statement on that. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.